So let's just start again. Now we switch the other needle to the right hand. So your empty needle will be on the right side and your stitches will be on the left. So we're going to be forming interlocking loops with each row, and in we go again. So insert the needle. This is very hard to do. Insert the needle. Snug it up a little bit. Swing around the back. Peek through the window. And off jumps Jack. Insert your needle. Swing around the back. Peek through the window. And off jumps Jack. So this stitch is called the knit stitch. So for your homework, I want you to continue doing your knitting and proceeding as I've showed you for about, let's say, 20 rows. And then when you get there, we are going to do a bind off. We'll snip our yarn and you can start it all over again. Each time you do your knitting and form a little square, you'll see that your work improves. This is what it may end up looking like, is a little square that looks like this. Has a lot of bumps on it. Those are called the purl bumps because the front side of your knitting is flat, but the back side has bumps on it. So when you do every row of the same stitch, you will have bumps on the back side of each row. When you turn the knit stitch over, that is where the bump is. The bump comes from your wrapping the yarn around the back. When you're doing the purl stitch, which is really just the opposite of knit, you're putting the bump on the front. So this is what it looks like when you do an alternating row of knitting and then purling. This is what it would look like. It will become a flatter fabric. So this is flat, but this is all knit on the front, and on the back is all purl. So you can see that it's very bumpy there. This has bumps on both sides. And there's no real right or wrong side, but it's all knit, or it could be all purl. So now that you have learned the knit stitch, it's time to learn how to bind off your knitting, and which means you're going to end your knitting with a nice neat row that will not unwind itself. So what you need to do is knit the first 2 stitches. Then take the tip of your left hand needle and insert it into the first stitch on your right hand needle and lift it up and over that second stitch. I always hold that stitch with my right finger so that it doesn't slide off at the same time. Then knit the next stitch, swing around the back, peek through the window, off jumps Jack. Insert the left needle into the first stitch on your right hand needle, pick it up, hold that second stitch with your right finger, and up and over and off. And again, knit, take your left hand needle tip, push it into the first stitch, hold the second one, up and over and off. And that is how you bind off. We'll do it one more time. Knit, wrap, peek through the window, off jumps Jack. Then take the tip of the left needle, insert it into the first stitch on your right needle, up and over, holding that stitch down so it doesn't slide off the tip, And there you have it. We'll knit all the way to the end, and then I'll show you what to do with your end of your stitch. So things have been going along. You've knitted all of this 18 other stitches, and you have one remaining on the left-hand needle. So we'll continue to bind off, knit that last stitch, and take your empty needle, insert it into the first stitch on the right hand, and lift it up and over that last stitch on the right. Up and over and off. So now you have one live stitch right here on the right hand needle. What you do with that is pull the yarn through till you have a little tail, maybe about 3 inches. Take those scissors and snip it off. Then pull your yarn from the ball end, and there you have it. That's the end of your knitting. So you may end up with something that looks similar to this. I've made a little square. It's about 12 stitches, and it looks like this. So this is called garter stitch. On each side of the knitting, you have bumps. Doesn't matter which side you're looking at, they look the same. So this is what it may look like, but you may encounter a couple of difficulties, and I'm going to show you what one of my students did on her first attempt at knitting to sort of encourage you a little bit, not to worry if you do make a mistake, just keep knitting. And this is what her project looked like. She started with maybe 20 stitches, I'm not sure how many, and continued on to use up her whole ball of yarn. You can see that it got a little misshapen, and she added stitches here and there. She dropped a few. When she brought her work into the class, she said, well, this is the state of New Jersey. This is where we live. And this is Lake Hopatcong. This is Round Valley. This is Spruce Run. So every single hole she had a name for, which I thought was very endearing. And it did not discourage her, and it should not discourage you. The only thing she didn't know at the time was how to bind off. So when she got to the end, she just cut the yarn and left it a little bit raw. So at some point it could be pulled out, and we called that frogging, or rip it. And she could start over with the same yarn if she wanted to. But this is just an example of why you just need to practice. Continue practicing, and don't worry if you make a mistake. It's okay. We'll teach you how to fix it, and in no time at all you'll be a regular pro and love, enjoy, and enjoy your knitting. So if you received any information, if you got anything out of this video, please check that like button. It's a thumbs up sign, and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. You just hit the subscribe button and you will receive notification when a new video has gone out. There's no obligation to watch it, of course, but if you do, that helps me out a bit. So have a blessed day, enjoy your knitting, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.